The opinions expressed in Hooked on Life are for conversational purposes only. This podcast may also contain language that some may find offensive. Now, on to the show.
Hey, I'm Cindy Lynn. I'm a free spirit heading into my 50s with abandon. I was an actor, director, teacher who had a midlife break when I turned 37. I left a toxic marriage, moved across the country with 2 kids, no money, and no job. I decided to start life over again on my own terms. Found sobriety, learned to like myself, to show up for my kids, my family, and my friends. Found a home in the corporate world. Fell in love with my junior high school sweetie, Shay. I love to travel, kickbox, teach. I practice saying yes every day and love being a badass.
And I'm Shane. Shaner, or as my wife calls me, Shay Bear. I am British, and I came close to becoming an American, but I'm Canadian. I'm a musician who got lost in the lifestyle and sobered up years ago. I got married to my girlfriend from middle school, but don't worry, we were grown-ups by then. We travel a lot, we own property far, far away, and this podcast was her idea. With all that said, welcome to Hooked on Life. Are you asking me if I'm ready?
Yeah, do you have your coffee? Are you going to have water? You don't want coffee?
Yeah, I've had enough coffee, thank you.
Is the coffee all gone, or is there still more?
There might be some more coffee. Do you want some more coffee? We're recording now. We're doing this.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Oh, okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And thank you for joining us at Hooked on Life, the podcast. I am Cindy Lynn, and I'm here with my love, Shay.
Hello.
And we're happy to chit-chat with you for 40 minutes here on this Sunday morning over our coffee while we're in our PJs. Well, I'm in my PJs. You decided to get out of your PJs, didn't you?
Yes.
How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been really cold here this week.
It has been very, very chilly.
I'm allergic to the cold.
Yeah.
I get really moody when it's cold out, so I prefer summer all the time.
Yeah. We've been watching this really cool little show on FX. I feel like FX has some great shows on it. One is Breeders. If you haven't seen Breeders, check that out. It's excellent with Martin Freeman. Fantastic. But we've been watching this little show with, who's the actor?
Zach Galifianakis.
And it's called Baskets.
Yeah. And Louis Anderson. Come on, Louis Anderson.
Phenomenal.
Underrated.
Like, totally phenomenal show. Loving it.
Yeah.
And Zach Galifianakis, he plays 2 different characters. And he plays both of them they're both so full and so thoughtful that you are along for the ride. And Louis Anderson plays his mom. And it's the most tragic, lovely performance I've seen on television in a long time. So listen, check that out if you can. It's a really, really great little series. So today, let's get to today's topic.
I was just going to, can I just say, sure. Martha Kelly.
Oh, she's fantastic too, isn't she? I don't know anything about her.
She plays Martha Brooke in Baskets.
Yeah.
And she's so just damn sweet.
Oh my God.
So damn sweet.
But really good, strong sort of backbone to her. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we at today?
So let's get on to it. So I'm really excited about today. We've got quite a bit to get through. I have lots of facts and figures to discuss with you. We are going to be talking about a year in particular and comparing it to life now. Okay, so I'm going to give you some hints. Start the timer, start the Jeopardy theme music. Are you ready? These are your hints, and you have to try to guess what year we're going to be discussing today, okay?
Okay.
It was the year that the final episode of MASH was aired. The first cell phone by Motorola had its first call in this year. The number 1 song was Every Breath You Take by The Police. The number 1 movie, this will probably do it. If you didn't know what year it was, I think you're going to know what year it was when I say this, because you'll remember who you were and where you were when this movie came out. It was Return of the Jedi, and the number 1 dance move was the moonwalk. Shane McCauley, what year are we talking about?
I was 10 years old that summer, That was 1983.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Wow. Yes, it was.
There you go.
What was it that clued you off that it was 1983?
Well,
what hint in particular?
I would say the hint in particular would have been Return of the Jedi. I do remember MASH, but I remember MASH more of reruns.
Okay.
Because I was just a little bit too young to be watching that when it was out. So I watched it in syndication.
Okay.
In the late 80s and the 90s, of course. And I think I may have watched every single episode. But I remember like Hill Street Blues, but that was another one. That's another one.
Big show in our house.
Yeah, but it was way beyond my bedtime at that time. But I remember Michael Jackson, and it wasn't.
It was the American Music Awards.
Okay.
And I will never forget it. All of a sudden, you would hear the boom, chick, boom, chick, chick, chick. Can you make the sound? Can you do the dun it dun dun
no,
dun
and
it dun 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 dun, right? That's good.
I think.
And then out of that, wait, I'm painting the fucking picture.
Okay.
It's a beautiful picture to anybody that remembers this moment. So we hear the synth, right? Boom, dun, 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 dun. And then all of a sudden you see him and he's sparkling like a bloody Christmas tree with his silver glove, and he moonwalks across the stage, and everyone knows that the world will never, ever be the same.
There you go. 1983.
1983.
Okay, good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Thriller was released in 1983, too. That was a pretty big album for me.
Vincent Price.
Well, he scared me, though.
Yeah, with a great voiceover.
That video scared the shit out of me, but I kept watching it over and over again because I knew it was something big.
Yeah.
I remember waiting, remember when you would watch Much Music, how you would have to wait for your song to come on rotation?
Oh, sure.
And you never quite knew when it was, but you knew if it was a really good song that it would be on rotation quite frequently. So you would just sit and wait and wait and wait and hope that your mother didn't call you for dinner so that you could see Thriller one more time. Because we didn't have ways to record. We didn't have PVRs. We couldn't stream it. We couldn't YouTube it.
Yeah.
We had a lot of patience.
Well, I don't know if it was a lack of patience or a patience. It was just something that we had to deal with, right? It's just a part of life, was just having to stand in line and wait. Yeah. Or wait for the show to come on. I remember Happy Days. There were a few episodes where there were two-parters, and one in particular at the end of the year. Are you
talking about Fonzie and the shark?
Yes.
Wow,
and he was about to jump the shark, and the screen pauses.
To be continued.
And all summer we were all talking about whether he would get over that shark or not.
Yeah.
Now I don't remember it being a great white. I think it would have been it couldn't have been a great white. It could have been a great white, but it was in a net. But anyway, yeah, it was very dramatic, right?
It was extremely dramatic. Now, do you know what the biggest to be continued phenomenon was throughout the 80s?
Oh, no doubt about it. Dallas.
Yes. Who shot JR? I never watched JR or Dallas. I don't know who shot him. I don't know, but everybody knew that phrase. We didn't even have to watch the show, and we wanted to know who it was. Who shot JR? Now, what else was going on with you in 1983? You were 10 years old? What grade were you in? What was school like? What were your friends like? What did you do for fun?
Can we just wrap this bit up here?
Which bit, babe?
Kristen Shepard shot JR.
The actress or the character?
Well, no, that was the character's name.
Kristen Shepard.
Mary Crosby played Kristen Shepard. Okay. And she was the one who shot him.
Thank you. I feel like a great mystery has been solved.
Okay. Okay. Good. My job is done.
What was important to you in 1983?
Well, I would have been 10 that summer, that June. And so not a lot was important to me. I remember playing community soccer that year.
Okay.
And I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was just for the 1 year. But I don't remember a lot. I think what was important to me? I don't remember.
Okay, well, you're boring. So now ask me what was important to me in 1983.
Okay. Cindy Lynn.
Yes?
What was important to you in 1983?
Fame.
Oh, right. Yes.
The TV show.
Yes.
It was everything. It was the first TV show that I remember, like, the world had to stop in order for me to be home to watch that show. And I remember dreaming of how amazing it would be to go to a performing arts high school. And then fast forward, 30 years later, both of my children are in a performing arts high school, and I sort of live vicariously through them.
Yeah. Debbie Allen was fantastic.
Debbie Allen.
There was that old teacher, the old teacher.
The music teacher.
Yeah.
And of course there was Bruno Martelli.
Well, he's our dear friend he's our dear friend. Can we say dear friend? We can say dear friend.
I don't know.
Lee Carreri. Lee Carreri is
He's a lovely Facebook friend.
He's a very lovely Facebook friend.
He has liked my pictures. He wishes me happy birthday every year. Yeah. And it means the world to me and my little 9-year-old self. Okay, listen, we're going to take a quick break, and we have a new segment that we're introducing on today's episode called Remember When. Let's have a listen. Do you remember when, way back when, your mother would come to you and say it was time to go to the bank? You would excitedly get your coins, maybe a bill or two, put them in your pocket, and you'd find your bank book, that passport-sized fake leather book with all those markings and etchings that told you exactly how much you had in your bank account. It was housed in a plastic sleeve. You would get on the bus with your mom or maybe walk down the street. Rarely, if ever, you'd have a car. Usually your dad had the car at work. And you'd get to the bank. You'd open the door and there'd be a long table at the back of the bank that housed the deposit and the withdrawal slips. You'd take your time and print as nicely as you could. Sometimes your mom had to fill out some of it. Then you would get in line, the long line. Usually everyone was old, with high heels and funny shoes and glasses, and you'd wait your turn. You'd listen to the funny music until finally you got to the teller. You would look to your mom, and your mom would give you a nod or a little shove to pass over your bank book to the teller. They would do their business, and then they would take your book and put it in the printer. When they came back, they'd give it a stamp, and then they'd pass you back the book. You looked, you saw how much money you had, put a little smile on your face, nodded at your mother, and then you went home, maybe stopping off at the convenience store for a chocolate bar or a Slurpee. Remember those days? Okay, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. That's going to be sort of an intermittent segment on some of our episodes where we just walk down memory lane and remember some of those great nostalgic things from our past.
Can I just say, I had a crush on Erica Gimple back in the day.
It was Erica Gimple.
She played Coco.
Oh, yeah.
On Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was very sweet.
Don't I remind you a little bit of her?
Yeah.
With my tenacity and my zest for life and my drive.
That's right.
I strove to be like her.
Yeah. There's good characters in that show.
Great. It was just a great show. What was the dancer? What was his name? Oh, I'm so old. Not Leo.
Well, that played Leroy?
Leroy.
Gene Anthony Ray.
Yeah, he was unfucking believable. Died of AIDS, I believe in the 90s.
No, 2003.
2003.
Yeah, he passed away in 2003. Yeah, he was really great, too.
Oh,
Holy cow.
Great TV show.
Holy cow.
I know they tried to revamp it. They tried to do a revamp of Fame in the early 2000s, and it just flopped.
Okay, I don't remember that.
It just flopped. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the economy. And I do have some comparisons to get us, sort of started off that I want to run past you that sort of compare 1983 to 2023.
Okay, that's 40 years ago.
That is 40 years ago.
40 years ago.
I know.
Oh, my God.
That makes me seem so old, Mr. Macaulay.
Jesus. Okay, let's go back to 83 and now.
Okay, so let's talk about inflation. The inflation rate was 3.21%. In 1983, fast forward to 2023, it's 6.45%. Okay. Gas was 96 cents a gallon.
A gallon. This is U.S. gallons.
U.S. gallons. And it is now $1.40 a gallon.
Are you sure about that?
Don't make me...
$1.40 a gallon in the United States right now? Average price?
Why don't you fact check, Mr. McCauley, and I'll just go through some of these other things. Milk in 1983 was $1.35. Fast forward to 2023, $5.89. Now, I realize that does seem high. We shop at it is called No Frills. I was going to say it's a no frills kind of grocery store called No Frills. So we're able to get our milk a little bit cheaper, but $5.89 on average. Okay, did you check your fact?
Yes, as of this week, the U.S. average gas price is $3.47 a gallon.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we checked.
It's not even close. Yeah, it fluctuates. It's going up and down, but it's pretty steep right now.
The average house price, this is a Canadian statistic, in 1983 was $82,000.
Wow.
As opposed to 2023, get ready for this, $704,000.
Okay, well, I'm not necessarily interested in starting a fight with anybody, but we are currently in the downward trend of a housing bubble in this country.
But that's a huge jump for 40 years.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Astronomical.
Of course.
And what's interesting is, I would say North America is somewhat rare in its quest for home ownership. When you go abroad, people tend to rent more than own homes.
You're talking about Europe.
Yeah. But it's very important to people here. The average income in 1983 was $21,000. And the average the average per person income in 2023 is $60,000. I don't feel like that's a big jump.
Per person.
Yeah. I do not think that's a big jump.
I think that's a bit high, 60,000. The last I read, it was a median income in Canada of 87 or 89,000.
See, this is the problem with trying to do this podcast with someone that's like a human computer.
No, I'm not a computer. I read a lot. But let's just go with your numbers because I have faith that you did this morning.
I did.
So I'm not going to argue you. I think your numbers are right. I'm just saying.
I used the Googler.
Okay.
Now the interest rates. 1983, it was 14%. Now, interestingly enough, the interest rates went to a high of 21% in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And in 1982, they made a decision to start to bring that down because it was crippling people.
Yes.
And so now in 2023, we are seeing the opposite happen, which our interest rates were historically very, very low. And we are now trying to bring those back up again. So we are now at 4.5%.
And it's crippling people.
It's
very important to say is that it was crippling people at 14% and now at 4% and rising. 4.5%, I think, is in Canada right now, the Bank of Canada. It's starting to cripple people. So could you imagine if it went to 6%?
No. Well, and it brings me to my last statistic, which is average household debt.
Okay.
So in the 80s, it really was the dawn of household debt. We had credit cards. We had people that were striving for more. There was a lot of commercialism. And so the average household debt was 66%, which seems pretty high.
This is debt to income? Or
yes.
Is it? Okay.
Okay. But fast forward to 2023, and I'm going to ask you what the statistic is because I bet you know it.
In Canada?
Yeah.
In Canada, the last I read, it was 181%.
That's horse hockey.
So for every dollar that you earn, not you in particular, but the average person owes $1.81. That's average. So if there's people out there that have a savings account with money and they have no debt, they are actually bringing that number down. So there are people that have much more in debt than 181% to get it to 181. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's really bad. That's really, really bad.
How did that happen? Over 40 years, how did we get ourselves into that situation?
Well, the 30-second answer for right now is interest rates have been historically low, and banks and lending companies need to make money. That's what they do, is they make money.
Don't you feel like they've become almost their own commercial entity, their own corporate
of course.
greed machine?
Of course. Well, they're a business.
Is that what a bank is supposed to be?
Let's not talk about greed. It's a business, right? It's a business. So,
Well, you know a big term in the 80s.
greed is good.
Greed is good.
Wall Street, 1987. That's a good movie. 1987.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas. Anyway, they do what they do. They don't lend out sandwiches. They lend out money, and they make money on the money. So when the interest rates are low, they have to lend out more money in order to make profit. Now, I say that in quotations that they have to. They don't have to, but they do, because they have shareholders. They have shareholders that own stocks and bonds and so on and so forth. And so the banks and lending companies need to make money. So they loan out a vast amount of money with low interest rates in order to make it profitable, back through the quotations in profitable. So everything is fine as long as the interest rates don't go up. But now they're going up. And so people are going to become underwater, which is what's happening right now. And rates are not going to go down anytime soon. So people are going to live underwater. And banks are going to either continue making more money off of these people with higher interest rates, or they're going to lose value, right? The banks, the lending companies are going to lose value because people are losing money and they're losing their homes. Like, look at the bailout in 2008, right? In the United States, $800 billion. $800 billion.
So then I bring it back. Was it better in 83? I mean, people were financially stretched in 83 too.
I will never say that my mom and dad were stretched, but we did not live high. I'll tell you this. In 1983, we went to Disneyland, and I was 10. My sister was just turning 8, and it was the happiest fucking place on earth.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Us too. We went in 82.
But I don't remember any other holiday up until that point of any substance. No, I was a kid.
So is the difference then, to wrap this up, that in the 80s, our parents knew how to cut back. Our parents knew how to make adjustments when maybe they didn't have as much money on a particular month. And now we don't know how to say no. We don't know how to not take our children on a Disneyland trip every year. We don't know how to not have a $1.5 million house. And we just incur debt as a part of our life. Whereas in the 80s, they tried to manage that debt.
Or they just didn't take it on.
Yeah,
they just didn't take it on. Debt was not good. Debt was not a good thing. Yeah. The sooner you got out of debt.
They shopped on sale.
Yeah, my parents had a 25-year mortgage and they paid it off in 11 years. Yeah. They were incessant in paying off their bills. This is long before I knew what a mortgage was, but they paid it off in 11 years. And what we did when they paid it off, and I was 13, I suppose. Do the math. It was 1986. My old man took us to Sears and bought the family a trip to Honolulu. And we were there for 2 weeks. And my dad couldn't smile bigger for that entire 2 weeks. And I think, from what I remember, he spent 3 months of mortgage payments on that trip.
Wow.
That's what they did back in the day. And now people are saying, I'll never pay off my credit card. I'll never pay off my mortgage because I have to live.
I'll always have a car payment.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah. And I'll end with this before we go to commercial break. Our moms were amazing. Their ability to be given a weekly stipend for groceries and to figure out how to feed us every single night of the week was incredible. There was no pizzas. There was no frozen dinners. They did it every night, and they did it on whatever budget they were given. And with that, it's commercial time.
We'll be right back after this. You're listening to Hooked on Life.
This portion of today's podcast is brought to you by Playhouse North Acting Studios. Founded by Cindy McCauley in 2004, they offer professional-level training that provides students with a competitive edge that's needed in today's industry. They provide the tools necessary to build a solid foundation, find freedom and confidence in the actor's approach to the work. Using the Meisner technique, they are committed to a positive setting for students to train and cultivate a lifelong practice through a professional approach. For more information on upcoming sessions, contact them at playhousenorthstudios@gmail.com.
All right, we're back from commercial break, and we're moving right along with our comparison of 1983 to 2023, and we're going to hit another big area of importance in that time, and this time, frankly, which is technology. Just like in 2023, 1983 really did become a catapult for many inventions and the opportunity for many people to start to bring technology into their own homes. And so we're just going to highlight some of those. First being, are you ready for this?
I am ready.
Let me know if this was in your home. The camcorder.
1986.
That's when you got the camcorder.
That's right.
Well, interestingly enough, a lot of these inventions and a lot of these things that were made accessible to the home didn't really enter our home until, I would say, 1996 to 1998, simply because of the price of them. When they would come out, that price was just at such a high purchase price that we couldn't afford it. But we never got a camcorder at home, so I was always very excited when someone else had one that I could play around with, because I'm sure it doesn't surprise you, I did love to be in front of a camera.
Oh, you still do.
Yeah, weren't you telling me that I take too many selfies this morning?
Yeah, it comes up on Google, on our Google pictures, photos, and there's a lot. I don't mind you taking them.
You know what it is? I use it as like a mirror. Like, am I looking okay today?
You could just ask me and I'll tell you.
Oh, are you a good judge?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways, okay, so the camcorder. You did have a camcorder in 1986?
That was for Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And then did you guys sit around and like watch the movies when you got home?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
For sure. I don't remember them editing it. I don't think we had an editor. No, we didn't have an editor. They just played it. But yeah.
Where are those movies now?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Could you imagine?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Wouldn't that be cool?
If I could be honest with you, we were in Honolulu, in Oahu for the 2 weeks, and there was a natural reserve that you could walk through. I think there were birds and there were some birds in this area, and lots of people were walking by, and there was a young woman, daughter, and her mother walking by while my old man was filming with his camcorder. And it got on tape. So we got home and we were watching it a week later or whenever we were watching it. And we heard this young lady mouth off to the mother. And like, she's really laying in, right? She's like, You don't understand me. And she got really ugly.
Like Autumn on a Good Day?
No, Autumn doesn't do that. I don't think Autumn, maybe she doesn't say it outwardly.
No, it's true.
On the tape, as they walked by, my mother is heard saying, "You're not bloody doing that to me." I'm like, wow. Well, no, we wouldn't do that because we would die. I'm sure we would end up somewhere in the bushes there. But yeah, 86. That was 86.
86.
Anyway.
Okay, now Apple computers did come out with their first personal computer, which they named Linda, I believe, but it didn't really take off.
Lisa,
thank you.
Yes.
I love you.
Lisa.
Thank you.
Okay. This is not the Apple II, though. This is the Lisa, the one before.
Correct.
Okay.
The next version that really did take off came out in 1984, and it was launched with a very memorable Super Bowl ad. And that is really what launched Macintosh home computers.
Okay.
Was the Super Bowl. And hence the beginning of the Super Bowl having these monumental commercials that helped products sell.
Okay.
The cell phone made its first call.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet it was the size of a fridge.
The beginning of probably our most important piece of technology.
Wow.
I think if you were to ask anyone what piece of technology they would need above anything else, I think it would be the cell phone.
Yeah, for sure.
And it is technically the official birthday of the internet.
Okay, we're talking about the military.
Correct.
Okay.
Not the World Wide Web.
Right.
WWW.
Right.
But the internet.
Okay.
1983.
Wow.
And then there was two other inventions that I think, had a huge impact in my house and probably yours, which was the VCR.
Yes.
Huge change in our family.
In 83?
83 is when the VCR came out. Now, the initial price for the VCR was $1,200.
Oh, my God.
So I don't think we got our VCR until maybe 1987. I do remember going and renting one from the local convenience store over a weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But I don't remember us owning one until later.
Okay.
And then that became a huge part of our weekends, right? We'd go to Blockbuster and pick out our movies and...
Oh my God, that's so long ago now.
Hey?
Okay.
And then finally, the ever-loving microwave oven.
Yes, my old man bought one for my mom.
And how big was it?
Oh, I remember going down the escalator at the Hudson's Bay Company, and he had to carry it out. And it was the size of 2 suitcases.
Oh my God. Yeah, ours was like on its own stand in the middle of the kitchen. It was so big.
Yeah.
Didn't even fit on a counter.
Changed the life of millions and millions of people now.
Yeah.
The microwave.
Yeah. I would say the microwave is right on tap with like the Instant Pot, the slow cooker, air fryer.
Well, let's see how long they last, because the microwave has been going for 40 years.
It's true.
Right.
That's true. We have one.
A microwave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Well, some people are very few, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's a very handy, and they're $100 now. They're pretty cheap.
I mean, that's the thing with technology, right? When it first comes out, it's definitely much more expensive, and then it becomes more affordable. So then moving forward to 2023, what's your favorite technology? What do you, when you look at technology in 2023, what do you think about?
Well, we have Google Home, so I can always ask her to play a radio station, which I like to do, or listen to some music, and we have it strung through our house, so we can ask the technology, her.
And I'm sure we could ask it to do a lot more. I just feel that we don't have like the patience to do it.
Yeah.
Like I know you can have it call people and like set up routines. All of our lights are on the timers through the Google Home.
Yeah. When you're asking me what interests me now with the technology nowadays, I'm so out of touch. I really don't.
Yeah.
I'm not really into that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, now Google Home is old technology. When we're looking at technology in 2023, we're talking AI.
Yeah.
AI is huge.
Yeah,
Robotics.
Virtual reality.
Virtual reality is huge. And then we have this, the big metaverse.
Yeah.
You know, so beyond me. And it's all seems to be moving so fast. Do you think the advancements in technology, comparing 83 to now, do you think it's a good thing, all the technology?
Oh, of course. Sure.
Do you think it's a good thing for our young people?
Well, I'm not one to judge that. I don't know.
Definitely changes their skill set, doesn't it?
There's always technology, always changing from millennia, right?
I mean, what's interesting is my daughter can code. She can build worlds on a computer.
Yeah.
But if she lost her cell phone, she wouldn't know any phone number from memory to call anyone.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a trade-off. All right. So we have another segment that we're going to cut out to now called, Shay?
A Moment in Time.
And with that, let's go to it.
Sharing the borders with China and Nepal, Mount Everest is our planet's highest mountain above sea level. In 1924, an expedition team from Britain set out to attempt to conquer the massive peak. On June 6, 1924, the now famed George Mallory with his climbing partner Andrew Irvin left camp and their team and started for the summit. Mallory told his team he was certain they would reach the top and return to camp before nightfall. The two climbers faded into the blowing snow that morning, and it took more than 70 years for anyone to see them again. Irvin's body has never been found, although his climbing axe was retrieved in 1999. 800 feet below the find was George Mallory, face down, a rope tightly knotted around his waist. Some believe he was on his way down from the summit when he fell. His skull had severe damage, and his right leg was broken in 2 places. His snow glasses were found in his pocket, suggesting that they reached the summit and were on their way down. Mallory also carried a photo of his wife, and he planned to leave it at the top, but no photo was found. His body was bleached white from the sun and lay still until he was located in 1999 and properly buried with where he was found. His legacy is remembered by all mountaineers who come face to face with the almighty Everest. With his climbing partner, George Mallory will be remembered by his famous 3 words in answering to why he would challenge the great peak. He smiled and responded with, "Because it's there." And this was another moment in time. Okay, we're back.
We are back.
We are back.
Yay. All right. I'm all caffeinated now. Can you tell? My voice is a little bit more bouncy.
Is it bouncy?
A little
Okay,
bit.
that's good.
All right.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about pop culture in 1983.
Okay.
What some of the big things were that were happening in the day. So let's talk food, shall we?
Sure.
All right. This might surprise you, but ranch dressing was the thing. People were crazy for ranch.
It's very heavy. It's a very heavy dressing.
Yeah. It's not my favorite,
Okay.
but in the 80s, they got very creative with it. They put it on their chips.
Are you going to say Hidden Valley Ranch?
Hidden Valley
Okay,
Ranch.
okay,
It was
good.
invented in 1983.
Or Hidden Valley Farms or something.
That's right.
Okay.
Hidden Valley ranch dressing.
Okay.
We put it on our vegetables.
Really?
Yes. We dipped our carrots.
Okay. Like a
Right?
okay.
A vegetable dip. We put it on our potatoes.
We still do. Well,
You do. I'm not a huge
yeah.
fan of that.
Well, sour cream's best, but okay.
Or yogurt. Greek yogurt can work.
Okay.
With that everything in the bagel seasoning.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Another plug.
And then there were some people that put it on their potato chips. Which is you, Mr. Macaulay.
Once. Okay, just once.
With black olives, I believe. And it was also the invention of the Dorito Cool Ranch flavor.
Yes.
Now, there was another food craze, which I'm sure many of us are familiar with on our dessert tables, which was Jell-O.
Right.
Jell-O was raging. It was very, very popular in 1983, and they launched their sugar-free Jell-O line.
I'm so glad you're not talking about having me talk about my incident.
Did you want to talk about your incident?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, come on. Go for it.
Okay. Are you sure?
We are always up to hear of one of your shenanigans.
Yeah. Well, 97, it was a Super Bowl. I had a can of black olives. I had a bag of Cool Ranch Dorito chips, big one, and I had a small jar of Hellman's mayo in the fridge. And at the beginning of the game, I was doing laundry at the time and drinking copious amounts of beer. I opened the can of black olives and I finished that can of olives with the beer in the first quarter, or before the end of the first quarter. Subsequently, I decided at halftime to open the chips, but I didn't have dip for the chips. So I went into the fridge.
You were a chip dipper.
Well, at that time I was, and so I opened the fridge and I saw the small, I keep saying the small, Hellman's mayo that had not been opened. And
Do you say small just to make yourself feel better?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so
Just want to clarify.
at halftime, I opened the big bag of Doritos and I started gently dipping the chips into the Hellman's mayo. Anyone that does this will understand how fucking amazing this is. And by the end of the third quarter, which is only about 25 minutes, half an hour, I suppose, 40 minutes, 35 minutes, I had realized that I had scraped the brand new small jar of Hellman's mayo clean with the chips, and I still had a quarter bag of chips left. So I ate an entire jar of mayo, and I still had chips. So let me just tell you, I felt really shitty afterwards.
I'm sure you did. That
Yeah.
sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. Anyway,
Well, I'm glad you shared that story.
thank you.
Helped us all get to know you a little bit better.
You'll never get that time back, I promise.
I'm glad I've never done anything like that. Let's move on to fashion, shall we?
Okay.
1983 was the dawn of the shoulder pad. It was the dawn of the oversized shirts,
Okay.
the collars up on the polo shirts,
Right.
and the Ray-Ban sunglasses.
Okay. Were they as expensive as they are now? They're pretty expensive now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And it was also my personal favorite fashion trend of 83, the jelly shoe.
Oh, my sister had a pair of those.
I did too, pink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Loved those things. They were very uncomfortable, but they were cool.
A lot of plastic out there.
A lot of plastic. Now, the most popular girl's name of 1983 was Jessica. Most popular boy's name of 1983 was Michael.
Okay.
And the Washington Redskins won the Super Bowl that year.
Yes, they're not called that anymore. They're called the Commanders.
Right.
There was a time a couple of years ago where they were not called the Commanders. They were called the Washington Football Team.
That is a very poor effort
Yeah.
for a name.
Yeah, I can't imagine us calling the Toronto
What does
baseball.
that say about Washington?
Well, yeah, That's a whole different thing. But what I'm saying is, could you imagine us calling the Toronto baseball team the Toronto Guys in Blue?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't work, right? But they reacted appropriately in changing the name, especially with the times, but they didn't have a name to replace it. They should have had a name to replace it, but I guess it took a few years to get Commanders sorted out.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they still have the football team, of course.
Sally Ride was the first female astronaut.
Yes, right. That's
in
right.
space. The Challenger had its first successful mission. It wasn't until 1986 rather, that we had that devastating crash of the Challenger.
Yes.
And another very important invention to all mothers out there, the invention of the chicken nugget.
Okay.
Very important invention for any mother trying to feed small children.
You're not mentioning one in particular in 1983.
The McNugget.
Well, no.
Oh.
The Cabbage Patch Doll.
Oh.
It was 1983.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Big part of my life, Cabbage Patch Dolls.
Yeah, my sister had one. You had a couple.
My mom got shoved.
I had one. They gave me one for Christmas. I don't know why the hell they did that. And it was a preemie.
Didn't you get a Barbie too?
I had a Ken doll, but it only lasted about an hour before our dog chewed it up under the table. But I received a Cabbage Patch doll. It was a preemie, and its name was Eileen. And I said to my Mom, this is not a boy, this is a girl. And she said, no, Eileen is a boy's name too. And I remember being, 12 years old, thinking, my mom does not sound right. She does not sound well. Anyway, I actually donated Eileen to my sister.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Autumn has one of my Cabbage Patch dolls, but I've never entrusted her with all three.
Her name is Patty.
Patty?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there was a little TV show that was released in 1983. Let me know if you can guess it. It was a spin-off of a much bigger TV show. Dance your cares away.
Oh, Fraggle Rock.
Down in Fraggle Rock.
No, that was shot in Canada.
Yes, and they actually just have rebooted it. And they shot a season in Calgary, I believe.
This is a Jim Henson production.
Correct.
Yeah, great.
Puppets.
Yes, of course.
Cute little puppets.
And the old guy, the old store
right.
guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the big fluffy dog.
Yes, of course.
Yes. All right, now let's move forward, okay? That was 1983. 2023 is just getting on its feet. And I looked to our social media expertise, TikTok,
Okay.
to find out what the most popular predictions of 2023 are.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready to feel out of touch?
Totally.
Okay.
Every day of my life.
Kanye. Do you know who Kanye is?
Kanye West.
Yeah. He's going to go to jail.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Wait for it.
His name is Ye. He changed it to Ye.
Okay. See, now I'm out of touch.
Okay.
Austin Butler. Do you know who Austin Butler is?
Yeah, he played Elvis.
He played that little cutie patootie. Oh my God.
Okay. How do you really feel?
Yeah, he's cute. Hey, you got to talk about how cute Ellen Pompeo was last episode, so.
Okay. Well, she was, yeah.
Yeah. He's going to get married. He will be off the market.
What, to you?
No.
Okay.
This is a good one. Pete Davidson.
Yes, SNL, right?
SNL, who we know had sort of a bad luck streak there with, what's her name? Kim Kardashian.
Well, there's a few girls out there, but okay.
He's not been very lucky in love. He's going to be mature, and he's going to start dating Lindsay Lohan, and he's going to apparently knock her up.
Oh my God. This is just ridiculous, right?
This is TikTok. This is the world we live in.
Could you imagine, though, being one of those two people, and this is what they're talking about on TikTok?
I know.
It's not nice. This isn't good. Anyway.
And Taylor Swift is apparently going to cancel some of her upcoming shows.
Okay.
Okay. Now, my own personal prediction for 2023 is that Twitter is going to close, and there will be a new social media program, or whatever you call it, platform to replace it.
Okay.
So wait for that. Any predictions on your end that aren't doomsday buttons?
No, I don't have any. Just a lot of not stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on right now that's not very good. around the world. So I don't want to make any predictions. I think I just got to put our seatbelt on and hang on tight.
Yeah. I think we should sing it out today. You want to sing it out?
No, I don't, actually.
I want to sing it out with a little, every breath you take. Come on. Every move you make.
Sting, he's great.
Amazing.
He's great. Okay, well, that was our episode.
Thanks for playing.
Of course. We'd like to thank Simon Says in the booth.
Yes.
For his great assistance all the time. We'd like to thank all the team at Audacity for supporting this program.
We want to thank you for tuning in.
Of course.
Please leave your comments and let us know what you'd like to see.
Or hear.
We'd
like to thank my dear wife for thinking about this podcast creation.
And I would like to thank you for your beautiful beard.
Oh, you.
Always love this time of year. I feel like I've got a boyfriend.
Oh, you. You've been listening to
Hooked on Life.
If you enjoyed this episode of Hooked on Life and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe to our channel. We would also love to hear from you. If you have any ideas for future Hooked on Life podcasts, feel free to drop us a line. You can stay up to date with Cindy and Shane by following them on Facebook and Instagram. And remember, don't worry about tonight's sunset, because there will always be one tomorrow. See ya!